Hello everybody, this is What the Bahunky123, and I'm going to be showing you, well, not showing, but telling you the story of how Treyarch made the storyline for zombies. Yeah. So, what is it when it takes place? Dr. Maxis, okay, this guy, he had this, well, he found this element called Element 115, and it crashed somewhere sometime during either in the end of World War I or the beginning of World War II, somewhere in Russia. And the Germans, I guess, got a hold of that or something. And Dr. Maxis, he's a German, and Dr. Richtofen was his assistant, which is a man you can play in this game. Most of the clues are in World at War right now, but I just didn't feel like putting in my disc, so yeah. Okay, Dr. Maxis was given this job so the Nazis could win this war and everything. So he made something called the Death Bell, which is the teleporter or the Nazi bell. And every time they sent a Nazi through it, they came back as a zombie, and they were trying to find how to like fix this problem. They did have the problem fixed before. In Dura, there are 4 people you play as, and these are super soldiers. They're like advanced. They were given these perks, which the perks are all the perks that you find in the games, like Juggernog and all that. And they were given a serum, and they were able to go through the teleporter, but the serum broke because Maxis dropped it or something. So they never had any more resources to make it. So those 4 super soldiers are the people you play in Barak. And Dr. Maxis wouldn't work at all. And he decided to test it on Fluffy. Fluffy is the Hellhounds that you see in Doris and all in Kino der Toten. And yeah. So it was his daughter Samantha's Hellhound. Well, it wasn't a Hell. It was a German Shepherd, I'm pretty sure. And it came back as a Hellhound because it was transported and it worked because it wasn't supposed to go away. It was just supposed to turn into a zombie, but it went away. Then it came back as a zombie or a Hellhound. And she was pregnant, so she just bursted her babies when she was in a different dimension because she went to a different dimension. And Samantha came in and saw what they were doing to her. They were trying to cure her, but it never worked. So Samantha came in and tried to help the dog, but the dog ended up biting her, and she was okay. But then they tried to get her out of there. But Richtofen, he locked them into the laboratory in Doris, and Dr. Maxis ended up getting killed, and Samantha ended up getting taken to a different dimension with Fluffy. And that's when Dr. Richtofen started getting all crazy. And if you can find these is all like the dream weapons, I guess. The ray gun, the monkey bomb, and the teddy bear, and then mystery box were all toys of Samantha. Like, she can talk to them and they would speak back to her. And then once Samantha went away, the teddy bear went rogue, and that's why every time you're in a nightmare room, this is like a nightmare room right here, and the teddy bear's trying to find her in a different dimension, but he's always like missing. So that's why he always pops up in the mystery box, because he thinks it's Samantha, because that toy box was Samantha's, but Dr. Maxis took the mystery box from her because he wanted to do an experiment. Like, it can end up with any gun, which that's what it happened. That's why there's any gun in the mystery box, because he used it for the Nazis. But it kind of failed, and that's why you can find like the crew guns and everything in there, because they're Samantha's. And that's what happened. And also, now since Richtofen's crazy, he took the Element 115, all the Element 115 that he could find, but he ended up going to Barak, okay, and he was trying to create all this stuff. But a man named Peter, he was a German. He's in the Barak group. he found out what he was doing and he was trying to stop him from doing it, so he shut off the power in Varuk. But Dr. Richtofen didn't want him doing this, so he chopped off his arm. So that's why you can see there's an arm on the generator on Varuk. Now, Peter goes to Shinonuma, finding there's a whole bunch of Element 115, and he tries to dispose of it because he knows Dr. Richtofen's going to be there and do it again. But he screws it up. He gathers it all, but I guess he screws it up. And, all the zombies are coming. Then he gets a distress call from one of the Varuk people, and it's giving them this, message about, like, they cannot contain Darius. Darius needs to be locked down, and Darius is out of control. They couldn't contain the zombies anymore, so Darius is on an outbreak. And he's telling Peter to find Dr. Maxis, but Dr. Maxis is already dead, but they don't know that. And, yeah. Peter can't hold the zombies anymore, so supposedly they say he hangs himself. And that's why you can see a hanging body with his arm missing in Shinonuma. And Dr. Richtofen ends up being there. He finds Element 115, but all the zombies are gone. And the doctor's quarters, that's where he goes. That's the place where he takes all the Element 115. The zip line goes through exactly the doctor's quarters. He uses that zip line to carry the Element 115 to it. There they say he created the Wonder Waffle. And yeah. Then the distress call also came into Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takedo, or Takio, whatever his name is. And they all go to Varuk. Then they try to kill everybody there. But then there ends up being a zombie outbreak, because they all try to find that one missing guy who sent them the distress call, but he ends up being dead. And so what's the point of killing everybody if you can just help people? Like, they can help you when there's, like, these vicious beasts trying to kill you, like that guy up there. So then they end up going to Shinonuma, because they find another beacon, and they end up finding Richtofen still in the doctor's quarters, and a bunch of these zombies come back. Once they defeat all of them, supposedly they defeated all of them, Richtofen joins them, and right when they get there, Richtofen just created this teleportation device, kind of. Well, that is the death bell that you see in Kingdom Totem. Well, it isn't that exact one. That's the one that Dr. Maxis created and showed all the people there. But he gets this link, and it teleports them to Darius. And then they find out that Darius is in lockdown, and everything's dead there. And that's how you can see the teddy bear with a sickle, because he's gone crazy. He wants to find Samantha. Okay, so they try to get there because Richtofen's trying to find one thing, but they never say what it is. So once he finds it, they get out of there because there's a huge outbreak. So then they get to Kingdom Totem. And Kingdom Totem, they don't know why they got there. That wasn't their plan to go. But they needed to fix the teleporter. But it ends up, once they go to the teleporter, they go into Samantha's death room, or whatever it is. And that's where the teddy bear, that's like the haunt room, or the nightmare room. And you go to Samantha's room and the laboratory of where Dr. Maxis was and everything. So then, once you get out of there, they go to Ascension, and Ascension is where Nikolai was working, kind of. So then he's like, oh no, leave me alone, and then, sorry, I'm trying to remember all this. I can't believe I remember so much right now. Okay, so next what happens is they find out, once they get to Ascension, there's this guy named Yuri. He is in a different dimension with Samantha, because Samantha was in a different dimension with Fluffy. Now there's a guy named Gershi. He was possessed by Samantha in that dimension, and Samantha's trying to make him get her out of that dimension. But he'll be sucked into that dimension. So Samantha possesses him to create the Gersh, which is the Ghostbuster, or what that really cool thing that stuff for the zombies in. And once that happens, Gersh goes into that, and Yuri supposedly dies, I think. and Gersh goes into that, and he's in the dimension, but he can still see the Ascension stuff. So he tells you guys to fix the mechanism or something, and the mechanism is in the second room on the bottom floor. You have to get death machines, you have to blow it up, and the entire room turns green, and that means that Samantha got out, and so did he. But so it said that something came out before that, but we don't know what. So that's the zombie story, I guess. There's really not much more. It's in the comments if I missed something. Let me just read this. Oh, and the message in Shinonuma, it's telling you where there's the last bit of element 115. It's saying like 6.1, 1.5, 8.9, blah blah blah. And then if you go to like this place, I heard like a lot of people doing this. If you like type it on like I guess Google Maps or something, your coordinates end up to be Area 51. Okay, well that's the zombie story, and there's not really much more. And I don't think anyone's found the right code or the right messages in Shangri-La. So yeah, I guess you just need to play that, and you'll find out. Thank you for watching this video, and goodbye.